This girl says that she never believed in God or any religion. However, she started to believe in angels after something she experienced. So this girl lives with her dad and they have a really, really good relationship. And at age 14, the cruelty of life just hit her. And basically she had to grow up and adult way too soon. From one day to another, her dad got really sick. They took him to the hospital and they found out that he had leukemia and it was very advanced. 4 months haven't even passed and he is constantly having to go to the hospital. She doesn't even know what kind of processes he's going through at the hospital until one day when he sits her down and he tells her that he has to stay at the hospital and that she needs to come with him because she's the closest person that he has. Just in case anything happens, I need you to be there and answer any of their questions in case I can't. So he has family. The only problem is that the family lives far away, and that's why he wanted her to be there with him, and in case anything happened to him, she would have to move in with that family that lives far away. And by the way, they love her. It's not like some people that she doesn't know, like she knows them. So she says that when she was at the hospital with her dad, during the day she would crack jokes, she would try to make it happy and just a positive experience altogether. However, she admits that when it was nighttime and her dad was asleep, that's when all the negative thoughts would come into her mind, and it was her and her demons just alone in that room. She says that she would always think about like, what happens if my dad isn't here anymore? She would think about like, what if my dad's not gonna be here? What am I gonna do? Where am I gonna move? And all of those like images of her friends that she had made all the time living there came to her mind, and it made her insanely sad. She said that she felt so alone, and it was very, very dark times at night when her dad was sleeping. She explains how like every day she was there with her dad during the day, she would be more positive, more happy, and then when the nighttime would come, she would be more sad, more alone, and more devastated. One day the doctor came and he explained to them that they were going to do some analysis. Depending on how the analysis came out, it would determine how they were going to move forward. And he apologizes to the 14-year-old girl and says, "I'm sorry to have to tell you this, but if the analysis are bad, you might have just 1 week with your dad." He also said if the analysis had good results, it could be that he had a few more months to live. She said that that news kind of left her numb because she was happy that she was going to get answers, but at the same time, she didn't know how much time she was going to have with her dad. She says that she felt like someone grabbed her and just like threw her off a building, and she never stopped falling. And that night, when nighttime came, she felt empty, she felt alone, and she had the worst feeling she had ever had at that point. So as she's sitting there just with her thoughts, thinking of all these ideas of having her dad there and not having him there, and just like feeling like she just couldn't stand it anymore, she felt that someone tapped her on the shoulder. And when she looked up, it was a doctor. She admits that she had never seen this doctor before. She said that he was actually very young and smiling, and he asked if he could sit next to her. And she said that she was so out of it that she didn't even realize that there was a chair next to her that entire time, and she agreed for him to sit next to her. She says that the doctor called her by name and said, "Valeria, just relax. It is not time for your dad to die. Difficult times are coming and you're doing a great job. I just want you to remember one thing. I want you to remember to enjoy the moments for however long they're gonna last. And any time that you're with your dad, just be thankful. Any time that you spend with anybody that you love, just be thankful. And any time that you are not with the people that you love, life goes on, and so do you. Please always remember this." She says that she doesn't understand how to explain this, but in those times where she was spending those like rough patches with her dad, anybody could have told her anything, and it was almost like it came one ear and out the other. Anybody could have been like, "It's gonna be okay," and she wasn't there to hear and listen to their words. However, when she heard it coming from this doctor, it resonated with her. She fully listened to everything this doctor was telling her. She admits that the words that this doctor were telling her made her feel like warm inside, and since that moment on, everything changed. She said that even her mental state completely changed, and even though she had never talked to this doctor before, she told him, "Thank you so much, doctor." And she started crying, almost like everything she had held inside of her, she just like let it out. And when she started crying, she said that the doctor gave her a hug, and he held on to her for a good 40 minutes until she stopped crying. When she was crying, the doctor was patting her on the shoulder and was like, "You're doing great. You're doing a good job. Just let it all out. You got this." She said that she finally, after 40 minutes, got herself together, and he said, "Okay, well, I'm gonna go, excuse me." And he went his way. And the very next morning, she actually wanted wanted to go look for him because she wanted to say thank you. When she goes to the nurses to ask for the doctor, the nurses were like, we don't have a doctor that looks like that. Said that the nurses were like, well, we're the ones who stayed overnight, and no doctor came in, and we don't have a doctor with those characteristics. Some of the nurses that were there that night told her that they admit to have heard her crying for like an hour, but they didn't want to go in there and just invade her personal space, so they let her cry it out. So she kind of let it go, and at this point they're waiting for the doctor's analysis. The doctor told her and her dad that the dad didn't have more than 2 weeks to live. However, her dad stayed alive for 7 more years. Am I about to cry, bitch? I've already heard the story. What the fuck? She says that he lived just like that doctor told her, and she feels like that doctor was an angel. She says that the day that her dad did end up passing away, those words that the doctor told her came to her almost as if he was there telling her those words again for the first time. Don't stress out and just be thankful for the time that you had with your dad. This is why I cannot do sentimental story. I'm a Cancer, okay? I'm emotional. Oh my. Okay, I got myself together. But what do you guys think? I didn't get myself together. What is wrong with me?